All right, so something a bit different today. We did a quiz last year, but Smitty did mention that we could use something like we're using today, and we're going to give it a go. So before I make a couple of announcements, if any of you are on Slido, if you get your phones out and do a QR code, I'll just put the QR code up. So if you want to take a shot at that, if you can't use a QR code, then Um, you can join at slido.com and use that number, but I did send it out by email. So um, let's just see whether that helps anyone else get on. Okay, we've got 15 on it. This is a bit of an experiment. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh, we've got 17. Nice. We are building users. All right. So I'll just leave that there while I talk through a couple of announcements. So obviously there's no games this weekend due to the long weekend, so no Adelaide Footy League games at all. Um, the next round will be on Saturday week, June the 15th. We've got some milestones to announce. I'm only doing that today because we don't have a Zoom next Monday, so no Zoom on the public holiday, of course. So looking forward to Saturday week. We've got some umpires getting their milestone games. So 50th game, James Hutchins on the boundary. 100th game for Doug Allgate, Chris Peters, both field umpires, and Guido Picaro boundary. And 200th game to Dave Palmer, fieldy. So I know Dave's on the line. He normally joins the Zooms and has done a great job to clock up 200 games. So well done you all. All right, I'll click out of that. Now, we don't have training this week. So no training this week, no games this weekend. No Zoom next Monday. You're having a bit of a break from footy for a week or so, which is good for us all, and then we can get set for the second half of the year. All right, so that's all the announcements I have. We're not going to do anything else other than the quiz today, unless does anyone want to bring up anything from the weekend? Anything before we get started?
Yeah, hi Colin, it's David Palmer here.
Hey, mate.
Just want to let you know at the Mitchell Park game, Jacob Dashenko, who umpired the A grade with David Bales on Saturday, he left his off-field jumper behind.
Well
I
done.
I have taken it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to deliver that to training on Wednesday for him to collect if he
Okay.
does attend training.
Well, yeah. So Wednesday week. If anyone has lost property, then they can. Pete Angel's the man for the lost property stuff. He'll help coordinate getting it back to the right person. We've got a special guest here today. You want anything to say anything, or just checking out who's online?
He probably wants to talk about runners being carded, Colin.
Nah, I'm sure he's had enough of that.
I'm just wondering if we need to appoint a lost property manager.
Do you want to take that job on?
No.
So all right, let's get cracking on this quiz. And I'll see if I can get the Slido up. All right, we do have a few here, which is good. So I am a bit. This is new, so this is we'll just see how it goes. All right, beauty. All right, so hopefully most of you had a chance to uh, have a good look at the questions, and you grab your phones, and we can answer as we go. So go to the first question. It's the one about the club boundary. So one club has not provided a club boundary umpire when they meant to have done so. So we're talking in Divvies 3 to 7 A grade men's, any B grade men's game. Don't have to worry about it, the C grade men's, of course. We cover all the women's games. So it's really just all the B grade and some of the A grade. So pop your answer in out of those four options. And let's see what I need to do to move on and get the right answer. There we go. So we had 79% get the correct answer, which is do not start the game until a club provides that boundary umpire. We don't want to start the game and do it like a C grade. We want to make sure that the club gets their act together. And if we say we're not going to start the game until that happens, they normally get to it pretty quickly. So that's one to keep in mind. All right, next question. Okay, a player has a kick for goal. By the way, I should allow the opportunity if you want to unmute yourself and ask any questions as we go along. Feel free to do so. So number 2, a player has a kick for goal. Siren then goes and the ball lands at the pack of players in the goal square. No mark is taken and the ball comes off hands before hitting the ground and rolling across the goal line. A lot of these questions have been written as we've gone along first half of the season. So something similar happened a few weeks ago. So what should the decision be? So pop your answer into your phone. I'm going to do this as well. And the correct answer is, which most of you got, actually, all clear for a point. So it's just if the ball comes off hands and rolls over, it does count for a point. So a slightly different scenario. Next question.
Hey, Cole, can I just
Yep.
throw one in for that one? I had one about 2 years ago at Hope Valley, where a player from the team that was kicking hit it through for a point.
Okay, mate. Hey, I'm
so-
going to stop right there. Let's look at the next couple of questions. Your scenario is about to be covered.
Ah,
All right. So the next question. A player has a kick for goal. The siren then goes and a ball lands at the pack of players in the goal square. No mark is taken. I remember the game you're talking about, Smitty. No mark is taken. A player from the attacking team punches the ball over the goal line. What should the decision be? So pop your decision in the system. All right, let's see. All right, I think we pretty much all got the right one there. You're 100% right. So no score in that instance. So was that the scenario, Smitty, that happened in your game?
yeah, it was. Yeah, so and it was right on the siren. Guy hit it through, but Adam Forster and I, being two good umpires, got it perfectly right, even though Hope Valley thought we were wrong. But yeah, free beers for us.
Nice. Okay. Next one. Okay, same scenario. Player has a kick for goal. The siren then goes and the ball lands at a pack of players in the goal square. No mark is taken. And a player from the defending team punches the ball over the goal line. What should the decision be in this case? So pop your answer in. All right. Let's see. Okay, so most of you got it right. The defending team punches it over, so the score does count. It's all clear for a point. The interesting scenario would be if you saw it punch through, but you didn't know whose hands it came off. That was put to me. And in that scenario, of course, you would want to get the boundary umpires and goal umpires and other field umpire in to see if you can determine that. But that one, which is such a blue mooner, but if you're in that scenario where you saw a punch through but didn't know which hands it came off, where I landed with that one was in an instance where you have a score dispute, you always go with the lesser of two scores. So I would say no score, but you would use all your witnesses there to determine who punched it through. All right, next one. A lot of these, as at the end of the game, as the siren goes, type scenarios, because they do throw up a few different yeah, interesting scenario. So player has a kick for goal, the siren then goes, and the ball lands at a pack of players in the goal square. A mark is taken by the attacking team before the umpire blows his whistle to end the game. So the correct decision is pop that one in. Matt, were you going
Question's
to make
not
a
clear.
comment?
Yeah, the question's not extremely clear because the rule is about when an umpire is the siren, not the whistle being blown.
Ah, yes, yeah, technically right.
You see, you
But,
see, you see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Like, so
Point taken. But
just because.
let's go on that the umpire has heard when the siren's gone.
Okay. Yep.
I hear what you're saying. Let's base it on when so that the umpire has heard the siren go at the right time, but he hasn't yet blown his whistle to call the end of the game. All right, and so the answer is no mark is paid and the game ends. So the game ends when the umpire hears the siren, not when he blows his whistle. And if one umpire doesn't hear it and the other one does, the umpire that hears it first is the one that counts. And we go with league appointed umpires, not club umpires. Any questions, comments on that? All right. Okay. The very interesting one, and this will probably get some discussion. Okay, just before the end of a game, and let's just say it's Essendon playing the Crows, just for example. The ball is in contest in the forward line of a team losing by less than a goal. A defending player dives and the ball is immediately tackled and the ball is held in. The umpire delays blowing the whistle to give the player a chance to get the ball out, and then the siren goes. What should the umpire do? And okay, so essentially, it is the same scenario as what happened with Essendon Crows game. However, um, this is where, say, the umpire in charge of that game had not blown for a ball up, and then had gone through the process here. So Matt, you're going to pick
I
apart.
was to say, so you're saying that from when he's dived on the ball and then immediately tackle, is there a reasonable time that for him to knock it clear or attempt to knock it clear before the siren goes, or is the siren blowing at the same time?
So I guess what I wanted to do by this question is talk through the holding the ball
Yep.
process so everyone's really clear. So reasonable time doesn't come into it because you've dived on the ball, that's your prior opportunity. You only have a reasonable time to get rid of the ball when you haven't
Yep.
had a prior opportunity. And that's
True,
what
but if the
but
siren blows immediately when you're tackled at the same time,
yeah. So you need to, there is a time between diving on the ball and then holding the ball because
yep,
you need to give them a chance to immediately handle or kick or move the ball on,
ball
right?
out, yep,
So
yeah,
so I know some of you may have put a different answer, but where I put the right answer for this one is you do not pay holding the ball and blow the whistle for the end of the game. And it's such an unlikely scenario, but it almost happened with Essendon Crows, and it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if he hadn't blown a ball up. And so the end of the game is when the umpire hears the siren, and you would blow your whistle when you feel they've had a chance to handle or kick and they haven't yet done so. So what I'm saying is you wouldn't pay a hole in the ball because you haven't yet blown your whistle because you haven't yet decided it's the time
yep,
they've had a time to get rid of it. So I actually think that if the scenario Essendon Crows hadn't occurred like it had, the Crows probably wouldn't have won anyway. It would have been the end of the game without the umpire had a chance to pay a hole in the ball. So possibly, who knows? But it's a good blue moon scenario to talk about.
Clean
And
the trigger there too, Cole. If you're going to be in that decision process of paying the holding the ball, the whistle would then be your trigger. So you're either going to hear the siren first, or your whistle will be your trigger. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you agree? Do not play hold the ball by the end of the game?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. Interesting scenario. But we didn't get anyone picking the last one. I would have thought there may have been. I had Jason Mounts message me saying he couldn't make the Zoom, but he thought the fourth one was the right answer, and he thought that one could be the right answer for a few of the other questions as well. But anyway, all right, let's move on.
There was 7% though, Colin, that said that.
Okay, sorry. I on my screen I can't see that, but yes, I thought that.
I was wondering if they get a bonus mark.
Was that you?
No, I didn't, but I thought of it. So
All right. Hey, if they play the way like they did in the weekend, it doesn't matter. All right. Next question. An umpire hears a player using insulting language, not racial, sexual, religious vilification towards an opposition player. What should the umpire do? So, is it issue a red card, issue a yellow card, pay a free kick only, no free kick, but use communication skills to control the situation? So pop your answer in. And this may be umpired in differently in different leagues, but I'm wanting it as I would want, and those of you who've been umpiring with us for a while, I would hope would get the right answer here. All right, let's have a look. Yeah, so I don't want free kicks being paid for banter between players, even if it's aggressive banter. That's where we need to use our communication skills to cool the situation. Different if it's as we're going to go on to the next question, but I reckon that's a chance for us to use our communication skills to tell them to pull their head in. All right, so the next question here, and there has been a change of process, as many of you be aware. So this is where an umpire hears a player use racial, sexual, religious vilification towards an opposition player. So what should the umpire do in this scenario? So pop your answer in. Okay, so this is where we want a red card. So there used to be mediation, there used to be a yellow card, and you used to kind of report it to the league so the league could mediate during the week. Community standards have changed. There's no tolerance for it. If you hear those comments, you need to red card. All right. Next one. So this is a bit of the stuff that happens from the coaches bench, which is happening with a couple of clubs at the moment. Unfortunately, Hope Valley women, both A and B grade, we're getting reports that they are continually offending. So anyone doing Hope Valley women, no tolerance to coaches' antics. And what we're about to say with warnings potentially here, no warnings for Hope Valley, and we'll be wording up the umpires. We've had enough of the women's coaching staff at Hope Valley, so that's they just need to learn a lesson. But on the whole, this question here, there's loud complaining about umpiring decisions which are not directly abusive, heard from the coach's bench. So it just might be whinging, just might be calling out, on the ball, or just constant, appealing for free kicks, spectator behaviour from the coach's bench. So pop in what you think is the right answer.
Colin?
Yeah.
I had one on the weekend. Someone from the coach's bench, or approximately near the coach's bench, said, "Open your eyes," with an F word there somewhere. I just turned to the coach's bench and went like that to them with my lips, and that shut them up for the rest of the day. I just put my finger to my lips, and that was enough to keep them quiet.
Okay, so Corey, while I appreciate the fact you've managed that pretty well, it's not what I want to have happen. And we'll talk about that in a minute, all right? I want us to be consistent on this, and I want us to be tough. I don't want us to, some of us have better ways of dealing with those situations, and you do have a good way about it. But anyway, let's go on, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. So, complaining about umpiring decisions, and look, at the end of the day, there are going to be some clubs who want to discuss umpiring decisions, and especially players on the field, we can use our communication skills. But there comes a time where we just get sick of it, and we shouldn't have to be out there dealing with constant, ongoing whinging and complaining. So the right answer here is issue a warning, and if it occurs again, pay a free kick. So let's just make a stand against that. The coaches are there to coach. They're not there to spectate and make comments about umpire decisions, and they set the agenda for they set the agenda for the way the players behave. And so if they're going to act like spectators, they need to, in this case, get a warning, and after that, just pay a free kick whenever you hear comments. And as I said
What
before,
about when you're not,
forget the warning, just pay free kicks.
Colin, when
Yeah.
you're not sure that it's coming from the general direction of the coach's bench, but it might not be the coach's bench?
Yep. So, So this is where we issue a warning through the matchday official to that area. So I don't want free kicks paid against spectators on the other side of the ground, but the spectators in the vicinity of the coach's bench are the responsibility of the club to either tell the spectators to get away or tell them to pull their heads in. So if you're hearing comments from around the coach's bench, you're not sure if it's spectators or coaches, you give the warning, one warning, and pay a free kick. Same message. But again, if the spectators are doing it around the ground, that's just where we get the matchday officials to deal with it without us having to pay free kicks. Does that make sense? All right. Next one. So this is where we're getting abusive comments directed towards the umpire. Not excessive, but and this is where Gory, I reckon this is where the example you gave fits into. So I want us to be consistent on this. If you hear abusive comments towards the umpire, I think you're all pretty much getting where I'm going with this, so I won't spend too much time waiting to put the answers in. Pay a free kick immediately. So Gory, you had the right impact. I don't care that you did. I want a free kick paid. They'll learn best, and we'll get more consistency if we all take that approach. All right. So this is the over-the-top abusive comment from the coach's bench, and we're talking about excessive abuse here. And so there's just different levels of comments, I guess, where we're and it's up to you to kind of determine where you're at with it. And so the over-the-top ones, we're yeah, straight to a card. And we just need to make it clear that it's unacceptable. All right. Any questions or comments on any of that stuff? We covered a fair bit of stuff there.
What's the effect of a red card against a coach on the day?
They need to move out of the coach's box, and they're not allowed to coach.
Okay, right.
They're not allowed to come on at quarter time breaks to talk to They just need to not fulfill their role. Obviously, it's an extreme example. Hopefully we can manage it with warnings or free kicks. But if they're going to go way over the top and really have a crack, then you need to make a stand. All right. Okay. So a ruck punches the ball on the fall through from the goals through the goals from a ruck contest. So we've got the two scenarios here. What needs to happen in this case? We're talking Adelaide Footy League games. All right. Okay. Looks like we've got 100% there. So yes, all clear for a point. We don't have deliberate rush, and we don't have a free kick in this scenario. In AFL or sample, a free kick would be paid. Similar situation, but happens around the ground. So where the ball goes on the full from a ruck contest. And what would you do in this scenario? Okay. Yeah, we pay free kick. We've got one or two that have said where the ruck contest was. It doesn't really matter, but it's where the ball crossed the line. And yeah, so that's the difference. Around the ground, we pay a free kick. But if there's any dispute about which hands it came off, just throw the ball in that case. Um,
Hey Cole, is it
yeah,
definitely the ruck that takes it? It's not the closest person to
that
where
was
it
a
went over?
that's a good question, Rob. That's a good question. I don't think it really matters. You're probably right. You're probably right. I did actually cross my mind after I set this out, but it could be the closest, but it honestly doesn't matter. Um, I did see a C grade grand final at Thebarton Oval decided on this free kick about 6 or 7 years ago. I reckon it's Port District and Adelaide Uni, and the wrong team got the free kick and kicked the goal. So that's what I'm saying. If there's any doubt about which rucker comes off, make sure if you're not sure, throw it in. All right, next one. All right, I put this in just because, just to remind you yet again. Apologies. There's an umpire that's on this Zoom that I went a little bit over the top, showing my frustration on the phone when he told me they put medium when it should have been low. But I am a little bit sick of telling umpires. But anyway, I think I'm just giving you the answer. So yeah, so if it's a serious looking incident, but the player who's been impacted gets up and plays on, it needs to always be low. Okay, so we've had someone's put high probably just to annoy me, but yes, it needs to be low, please. So what can happen here is we put it in according to the tribunal reference manual. We submit the report to the league. If the match review panel want to upgrade it based on potential to cause injury, they can do so. But I want us to stick to what the tribunal reference manual does. I don't want us doing the potential to cause injury before the match review panel get to look at it. All right. Okay. Player receives a yellow card, sent off with 3 minutes remaining. When can that player return to the field? Not really our concern. We'll probably get asked about it if the clubs didn't know. And if you didn't know the answer to this, I'd tell you, tell the club reps to ring a league representative to check it out, or ring Peter Angel. But based on your knowledge of it, just put in what you think the answer should be here. Okay, so yes, it counts for 3 minutes of playing time in the first quarter and 7 minutes in the second quarter. So they can come on at the 7 minute mark. So all of you got that right, which is good. And the same player in the next quarter receives another yellow card right on halftime receives another yellow card when the halftime siren is blown. So when can that player return to the field in that scenario? And the answer is not for the rest of the game because the second yellow card turns into a red card. So that's where they aren't going to be able to play at all and they'll get a mandatory 1 week suspension. All right, next one, which will no doubt create a bit of discussion. So men's B grade game, we're talking a game with no time on. So there's an incident where there's going to be a significant delay. So we're talking a stretcher case or something where it's just not a normal delay. So there's no time on when the ball goes through for a goal or goes out of bounds or when there's a small delay, but we're talking a significant delay. So what should happen? What should the umpire do in this scenario? And if you put all your answers in, there is a rule and regulations which says it can be stopped for and it's based on the umpire deciding that it needs to stop. So the right answer is it's the third one. So stop the play, signal time on, and let the timekeepers do what they want. So the reason for letting the timekeepers do what they want, each club has to provide one timekeeper. It doesn't usually happen. So if there are clubs that get upset with what happens here, say the clock doesn't stop and it keeps going down, the question will be, why didn't your timekeeper stop it? And if they didn't have a timekeeper, why didn't you have a timekeeper? So the rule is either timekeeper can stop the clock when a umpire signals it. And so that's for the clubs and the timekeepers to know the rule. And if we stay out of it and just signal time on and let the timekeepers do what they want, any, I guess, issues going forward from that come back to the club, not the umpire. Any questions or comments on that one?
Just regarding it being a B grade game, Cole.
Yep.
Would that then go into an A grade game so that game would stop 5 minutes prior to the scheduled start time?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sorry. So it doesn't matter if the A grade game starts late.
Okay.
We are not to get involved in that discussion.
Right.
If both clubs agree they want to cut short the B grade game, then so be it. But it's not like the Sanford League game where they cut the reserves short based on they have their league starting at a certain time. We allow the full game to be played, and if it means the A grade game starts late, then so be it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not for us to get involved in that one. All right, anything else from that one? Okay. We've got 3 more to go. We're running out of time, so we'll get through these ones. A player kicks the ball high into the air. It travels 15 metres. Same player runs after it and marks it. What's the correct decision? All right, let's see what you guys come up with here. Thought we might get a couple say running too far. I'll put it, the correct answer is play on. I'm open to discussion about free kick for running too far because you'd probably do that if you handballed it. But I think the right decision is just play on and they start again after from that point.
Are you talking about, Colin, like the rules that we want to apply here or the rule book? Because the rule book's pretty clear that if a player takes their own possession, it's running too far.
Yeah, but you're talking about handball in that scenario, aren't you?
No, any disposal.
I'll get back to you.
No
I'll have a
worries.
look at it. I've always been taught it's play on. You know what? I had play on, mark, and ball up, and I was thinking of a fourth option, and I threw that one in just because I was trying to think of another answer. So I did never even consider it as being a free kick for running too far. But let's talk about that next time we talk in a fortnight's time. So obviously, Alex, you're one of the 21% that put running too far, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Interesting scenario. I don't know whether footy wants us playing free kick for running too far in that scenario. But let's look at what the rule book says and we'll discuss it. All right, our last couple. Ball's kicked down the line, rolls on the ground, and is heading out of bounds. Opposition player to the kicker is near the ball on their own. Could take possession, but chooses to allow the ball to go out of play. What's the right decision? Okay. So the right answer is free kick to that player. It still counts as last possession. Just because they've chosen not to grab hold of it doesn't mean that and it's not like they're shepherding anyone from getting the ball. They're on their own. They could grab hold of it. They choose not to. They let it roll out. They still get the last possession free kick. We only throw it in if they've shepherded someone else from touching the ball. And the last one, All right, this is just a reminder for you guys as we start building up towards finals. If you're attend every training session, umpire at Division 1 level, receive great feedback, but do not pay for an Umpire Association membership. Can this umpire be appointed to a grand final? The answer, hopefully you'll get is, someone got it wrong. Oh, a couple got it wrong. So the answer is no. Play that no. So if you can't be bothered to support the Umpires Association or you choose not to, that's fine. That's your decision. But don't expect a reward at the very end of the year with the grand final. So if you haven't yet done so, pay up and support the guys that do so much to help create a good culture within the group. All right. That's it for the quiz. Hope you enjoyed that. It was something different to do. We might do another one towards the end of the year. Anything out of that anyone wants to discuss before we finish up?
That was really good, Cole. Thank you. Should be mandatory. It's a really good reminder for everyone.
Yeah, cool, mate. All right. Yeah, no, it's worth doing. I'll just add to it as the season goes on and as we get more and more of these situations pop up.
Colin, was there a scoreboard?
I reckon there might be. And if there is, I'll send it out.
Very nice.
Well, you reckon you got 100%, did you?
No, got one wrong. But I just want to see what Corey got.
If I can download it, I will. And
Thank you. That was good. Thank you.
All right. Enjoy your week off, guys. We'll catch up for Wednesday week training.